Good morning, friends. Today I would like to discuss something related to the work holding devices and tool holding devices related to the drilling machine. And these work holding devices are also very much common with the other machine tools like milling machine, shaping machine, planing machine, and slotting machine. You can refer the same video related to the work holding devices of all these machine tools. So before going into the details, first let us start with, if you look at the table of the drilling machine is provided with these T-slots. So in this T-slot, the bolted head of a nut can be placed. That is what shown here. So the bolted head, this is the square head, which can be placed inside this T-slots. This is what shown here. And by using these clamps, you can use these clamps to hold the work parts of different dimensions on the table. Not just one. There are multiple clamps which are placed at the corners of the work part so that the work part can be rigidly held on the table without having any kind of motion. So that is what the purpose of these T-bolts and clamps. And we have a lot of variations in the design of clamps that was provided in your reading materials, or you can refer any textbook for different types of clamps. So you can see here, this is what the clamp, one is the clamp and two is the work part, and this is called the goose neck clamp. And by using the T-bolts and the clamps, you can hold the work part rigidly. And here you can see the utilization of the stepped block. So again, here you can see the plain slot clamp. This two is called the plain slot clamp, and here this is the stepped block. The function of the stepped block is here if the work part dimensions are varying in your workshop, you want to do some different heights of the work parts in your milling shop, and then you can use this stepped block. And if you use this plain slot clamp, on one side that will be placed directly on the surface of the stepped block, and the other side of the clamp is placed over the work part surface, and this clamp is held by using the T-bolt and nut. That is what shown here, so that the work part can be held rigidly over the table. So the main purpose of the T-bolts and the clamps is to hold the work part on the drilling machine table. Next one is drill press vise. So what we are going to do is we are going to place this vise over the table by using these T-bolts and clamps, just like what I have discussed earlier. So here I can place this T-bolt, here also I can place this T-bolt, so that the bench vise can be fixed rigidly on the table. And now you can see this is the fixed jaw and this is the movable jaw. And this movable jaw can be shifted its location or can be translated by using a mechanism called as screw nut mechanism. So you can place the handle at this location and you can rotate that handle so that the movable block can be moved to the left hand side or right hand side to accommodate different sizes of the work part. And this is typically recommended for small or regular sized work parts. And here there are three varieties here in the drill press vise. There is the plain vise, that is what discussed till now, and swivel vise. Swivel vise, you can see here, this can be rotated about the vertical axis or in a horizontal plane. So you can see this is the handle which is used to move the movable jaw, and in between the movable jaw and fixed jaw you can place the work part. And here the one more interesting feature related to this is you can swivel this bench vise in about the horizontal plane or about the vertical axis, so that you can reach different locations on the work part, so that there is no need to adjust the table whenever you are doing the machining operation. And here there is a vise which is called as the universal vise. In this universal vise, you can swivel the bench vise not only about the horizontal plane but also about the vertical plane. So if you rotate about the vertical plane and the horizontal plane, you can get the inclined holes also. Okay, even though the drill bit is moving vertically downward direction, but you will get the inclined holes on the work part. So that is what the utility of the bench vise is. Those are typically called as the drill press vise which are used on the drilling machine. Next one is the stepped blocks. We already discussed these stepped blocks in the earlier slide. These are used in conjunction with T-bolts and clamps for holding the work part directly on the table. And you can see, if you want to accommodate this particular height, then you can use this plane vise, something like this. So different sizes of the work parts can be accommodated by using the plain clamp, plain slot clamp, and the stepped block. One surface of this plain slot clamp is placed over the stepped block, and the other is placed over the work part. Not just one, we are using some multiple or 3 to 4 or 2, depending on the dimensions of the work part. We are using these plain slot clamps. Next one is the V blocks. These V blocks are directly placed over the table, and these are typically recommended for holding the cylindrical work parts or rounded workpieces. You can see here, these are the rounded workpiece. These V blocks are placed directly on the table, and the cylindrical work part is placed over the V block. And here, in order to restrict this axial movement is restricted by using these clamps and straps. Next one is the angle plates. The angle plates are nothing but these are having two faces which are perpendicular to each other. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using two angle plates in conjunction so that the work part can be held against the table, something like this. So here this is one angle plate, first angle plate, this is the second angle plate. These two are used in conjunction so that the work part can be held rigidly over the table. So here we are going to use more than one such kind of arrangement so that the work part can be held rigidly at the corners. Next one is the drill jig. The purpose of the drill jig is typically for the mass production. Why it is typically recommended for the mass production? First, let us try to understand that. So whenever you are doing the drilling or producing the hole, then first of all we need to do the marking operation. Marking means you are using the scale and the scriber to mark the location where you want to drill the hole. Once that step is completed, then you will do the punching operation by using the dot punch at the cross marked location where you want to drill the hole. Okay, these two steps are mandatory before actually going to the machining operation. So what are the ways that can be utilized so that we can avoid these two steps? That is what the purpose of the drill jig. So what the drill jig is used, the drill jig is directly placed on the work part. Here you can see this is what the workpiece, and this is what the drill jig. And you can see these T-bolts and clamps are used to hold the combination of this workpiece and the drill jig. So whenever you want to do the drilling operation at this point and at this location, what we are going to do is simply we'll place the drill jig over the work part, and there is no steps that are required related to the marking and punching. So the location where you want to drill the hole, already that place is identified by the drill jig, and at that location we need to drill the hole exactly at that location. And here we are using the sleeves. So fourth one is called as the sleeve, so that whenever we are doing the drilling operation, there is a rubbing action that is going to take place between the sleeve and the drill bit, and due to this rubbing action there is a wear and tear that is going to take place across the sleeve. So once the wear and tear is taking place, then we can replace this sleeve without replacing the complete jig, so that this can be utilized for a long duration. That is what the use of this sleeve or drill bush. This is called as the drill bush. So that is what the main purpose of the jigs. But there is a serious limitation related to these jigs. That limitation is this is typically recommended for a particular type of workpiece only. If you want to obtain different holes, the locations are changed, then the entire drill jig has to be replaced with the new one. So the holes may be drilled at the same relative positions on the identical workpieces without doing the marking work individual. Marking and punching can be avoided completely. Next one is we will look into the aspects related to the tool holding devices. So you can see this is what the drill spindle or drill head, and you can see there is a tapered hole that is provided inside this drill spindle. So if you look at, this is called as the shank portion of the cutting tool, and the shank portion is also tapered. If the size of this standardized size of the drill spindle tapered hole matches with the shank of the cutting tool, then it is directly placed over the drill spindle. And here in this particular figure, what they have shown is we are having the shank dimensions which are smaller than the shank or the tapered hole that is provided in the drill spindle. So what we are doing here, we are using the sleeve so that we can place the smaller sized tapered shank in the drill head. That is what the usefulness of this. And here the shank dimensions are designed in such a way that the outer tapered portion will sit inside the drill spindle tapered hole, and inner tapered hole will provide the seat for placing the shank of the cutting tool. Okay, and here the tool is gripped by using the frictional forces. And here there is a drift tool. Here you can see this is typically used to remove the sleeves as well as the shank of the cutting tool. Next one is the sleeve. This is also we discussed. This is what the sleeve look like, and this outer surface has the dimension that is matching with the tapered hole provided in the drill spindle, and the inner tapered section will provide the seating for the shank of the cutting tool. So if the tapered shank of the tool is smaller than the taper in the spindle hole, then this taper sleeve is used. If they are exactly matching, if the taper shank of the cutting tool is exactly matching with the taper size of the spindle hole, we can directly place on the spindle hole of the drill head. So everything is given in that discussion. And the sockets are typically used when the tapered size of the drill bit is bigger in size compared to the tapered hole provided inside this drill head. Okay, so you can see this is what the cylindrical body, so which is used to hold the cutting tool. Here we are providing the tapered hole which is used to provide the seating for the tapered part of the cutting tool. Next one is the 3-jaw chuck. 3-jaw chucks, just like the 3-jaw chuck in lathe machine, this 3-jaw chuck is used for holding the tool. So whenever you are talking about the 3-jaw chuck, there are 3 jaws which are going to be operated simultaneously by rotating the shaft of this 3-jaw chuck. And the main advantage which you are going to achieve by using the 3-jaw chuck is whenever we are talking about whenever we are talking about this tool spindle head, that is going to accommodate only one standard size of the drill bit, and if that is undersized, the tool shank is undersized, then we are using the sleeve. If it is oversized, then we are using the socket. And if you want to make some little adjustments, or if you use this 3-jaw chuck, you can accommodate to somewhat greater extent compared with the sleeves or the sockets or the drill head. That is what the usefulness of this 3-jaw chuck, but these 3-jaw chucks are typically recommended only for smaller dimension drill bits. So with this, I will stop this session.